Hello everyone, this is Kevin, your entrepreneur, and if I look a little, well, if in my last couple of videos I looked a little annoyed, there are several reasons for that. I do mean what I say. I'm getting a little tired of talking about Uber and Lyft and how, basically, especially Uber, they cannot seem to learn anything. And I did that video where I read a negative Lyft comment, and that was very therapeutic, and I thank you guys for the kind words. I mean, in the long run, it did that in itself didn't depress me. I was having a pretty bad day, and that was just the cherry on top of the sundae, and so I decided to comment on it. But I got an email this morning from Lyft. It was not a deactivation threat video, so I know you guys are thinking that's probably what it is, but no. It was just a typical here's your average rating, and I noticed that my average rating had dropped from 7.69 to 7.65. Now, the reason it's significant is because I had only taken one ride that the previous day, which meant that person pretty much either gave me 1 or 2 stars because it did a huge ding on the account. Now, have I gotten this low before? Yes. Will I get back up? Oh, more than likely. Usually when I get this low, I commit to taking a day to do like 20 rides or so, and the vast majority of those rides will be 5 stars, so it gets the grade back up. So I don't think too much about it, but it really did get me thinking, well, not thinking, but it got me wondering about people if they realize just how sensitive Lyft star grade is. I have gotten so many emails from people who say Lyft is so much worse, and the reason they say that usually is because Lyft has they don't have really a grace period, to be blunt. They don't. You have to be on the platform, and you have to be doing excellent right from the get-go, and if you're not, you can be off this thing. And even if you establish yourself, there's way smaller room for error. And that's because Lyft counts the last 100 ratings, whereas Uber counts the last 500 ratings. It's one of the few things Uber does that is better than Lyft. Although Uber's starting to do a little bit more than Lyft, so I might have to make a video about that soon. Which has begged the question, how many 1-star reviews do you get at Lyft before you become in danger of deactivation? And, well, I did the math, and, with the help of Rideshare Tech, a video he did, a very popular video. I will link to it below or at the end of the video as well. It's a very important video to watch. It's like 18 minutes and it's admittingly not exciting, but it is very, very informative. I just got a notification and that's going to stay in the video. And he explains why Uber and Lyft ratings are fast to fall but slow to rise. And it's a very important video. You should all watch it, even with this. But the golden question people have asked is, how many 1 stars can you get on Lyft before you become in danger of being deactivated? Well, if the math is to be believed, in 100 star grades, you're allowed 10 1-star reviews, which will bring you to a 4.6, and that's not deactivation yet. But that's pretty much all the leeway you get when it comes to 1 stars. If you get 11 1-stars, then you're in trouble. Then you're in deep trouble. And that is definitely not forgiving under any circumstance. Now, by the same math with Uber, you can get more or less 51 stars before you start getting real in danger. I recommend you try not to get any at all if you can help it. But since some people give 1-star rates just for whatever reason, you got to be careful. I mean, and what was strange about that 1-star, I'm going to assume it's a 1-star that I got this week, was that we had a great conversation. He was friendly and he was not, everything was great. So it's strange that he would have given me 1 star, but there must have been something and he just decided to give 1 star. He didn't leave a comment. Would have definitely loved to have gotten a comment, but didn't get a comment on that. So that is why the Lyft ratings fluctuate way more than the Ubers. Now here's the good news. Because, because they only take that into account the last 100 rides, the 1-star ratings fall off faster. So that's one of the reasons why when my star grade gets low, I commit to doing 10 or 15 rides each day over the weekend. And even if you get a 1 or 2 star in that mix, that's enough rides to knock some of the 1 stars off your account. It's a pretty good chance you will. So, I mean, it's very, very unlikely that, you get to the point where it's like the next 10 trips are all 1 stars. That said, that is obviously not a lot of freedom. And then I've even heard stories where if you're a new Lyft driver, the restrictions are way higher, where like you need to maintain a 4.8 or else you could risk being deactivated. And if that's the case, you really only have like 4 1 stars you can get before you're out of there. That's not fair. That's not fair, especially since sometimes the 1 stars are for no reason. And, this is something that Lyft needs to address. If I were Lyft, I would maybe raise the average to the last at least 300 rides. At least 300. And then I would implement rater protection. Ask, why did you give this person 1 star or less than 5 stars? And there could be a list of sections. And what Uber does is, based on certain answers that are outside the driver's control, if someone selects it, that star grade will not be counted towards the overall score. In fact, because of that, here's the thing. My Uber star grade used to fluctuate between 4.70 to 4.75. It just never went very much higher. But it would always seem to drop. Well, ever since they've implemented this, my star grading has risen to 7.81, which more or less confirms a lot of the 1-star reviews were frivolous, or they were due to things that were outside my control. Lyft needs to do the same thing, in my opinion. I don't know if they would. I mean, it seems like they should do it. It seems like they would gladly do it. They are supposed to be more driver friendly after all, but they aren't protecting the star grades. And having only a 10 1-star window before you risk deactivation, that's also a problem. So that's why I kind of, my skin crawls a little every time I see a 4-star or lower. Although in all fairness, obviously they're not all 1 stars, because I'd probably be in bigger trouble if they were. Because like last week I got 28 ratings, 24 were 5 stars, 4 were 4 stars and less. I assume 2 of them were 1 star. The others, I'm not so sure. But, but it's amazing. That was enough to get the star grade to go down from 4.80 to 4.71. 4 ratings. A whole point gone. So, I mean, if that is, again, I would recommend watching that whole video about the chart. Again, it's not the most exciting, but it is very informative, and it's a very good education. In fact, even share that video. Share that video. You can especially share this one. If you know friends and family who drive Lyft, send this video and so that they can see that the 1 stars does great damage. I have even read stories where, I read a story where there was like one person who was brand new to Lyft and they need to maintain a 4.8 to stay on until they got to 100. Then they have a little bit more leniency. But they picked up a drunk girl one night and he took a turn that the GPS told him to, and the drunk girl didn't normally drive that way. And so she gave 1 star, and in her comments she admitted, hey, he's a nice guy and everything, but he took the wrong way, so she gave him 1 star. That 1 star got him deactivated. 1 grade. That's all it took. That was not right, in my opinion. Not right. So for all of you who say that, I'm obviously a Lyft fanboy, here's the thing. Lyft has personally given me far less trouble than Uber has. But Lyft is not perfect, and I have stated before, in some cases, Lyft is worse than Uber. Here's one of those reasons. In terms of their ratings, Lyft is far worse than Uber. Far worse. Like, there's no leeway for any mistakes, and 10 grade leeways is not nearly enough. I am thankfully established so that even if I got to the point where I had 10 rides and 5 of those 10 rides were 1 stars, there's a chance some of the old 1 stars will have fallen off, and I could do enough to get them knocked off. Again, that's the only positive thing about 100, but I wish they would do a 500 average because that gives drivers way more leeway, and I also wish they would offer some form of rating protection so that if someone gives you 1 star because there was heavy traffic, and that happens all the time, that would not be on the Lyft driver. It just wouldn't. Or if somebody gave you 1 star because they accepted a Lyft line, did not realize that that entailed picking someone else up, and thus gave you 1 star that someone else was in the car. That's so anyway, that's pretty much where I'm going to leave that. But so yeah, here's the answer to the golden question: how many 1-star grades can you get away with per 100 rides before you risk being deactivated? 10. Once you get 11, you're in trouble. So anyway, please, if you know anyone who is a Lyft rider, share this video with them. Share this video with them because they need to understand just how sensitive this is. Because and also, I'm just going to throw in there, anything less than 5 stars hurts us. If you give us 4 stars, that hurts us. It shouldn't, but it does. It's not nearly as bad as 1, but, as Harry Campbell from the Rideshare Guy pointed out, for every 1 star you get, you have to get 19 5 stars to pretty much get rid of it. So please, unless you got a truly awful driver, seriously consider before you give 1 star. Because that is someone's livelihood you're messing with. And is it really worth getting someone fired because they might have gone 2 minutes longer? Anyway, please share this video with people you know. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one. Oh, and by the way, I also have a Patreon page. So if you want exclusive videos, you can become a member for as little as $1. And the $5 mark will get you those exclusive videos. Just figured I'd throw that out there. But as always, thank you for watching. Enjoy. Have a good day. And flame responsibly. Have a good one.